All right. How's it going, everybody? This is yours truly, Rama Screen, covering movies, TV, and entertainment. And tonight is the premiere episode of the pilot for I Am the Night, which is TNT's new limited series starring Chris Pine and India Eisley. Is it Eisley or Aisley? I apologize if I mispronounced that last name. But I did interview India last year. Nope. Was it last year? Yeah, last year. Man, I'm starting to get old and my memory is a bit shot these days. But yeah, I interviewed, excuse me, I just had dinner. I apologize. I interviewed India Eisley back in October for her movie Look Away. So if you want to watch that video interview, you can do so through the YouTube link in the description box below this video. So go watch it there. All right. So tonight is the premiere again of I Am the Night, and I want to give you my review of it. This pilot episode actually was screened previously at the AFI Film Festival back in November, but I did not watch it there. I actually watched it through screeners. So I want to first of all, thank you TNT for granting me the screeners to the entire 6 episodes of this limited series. Yes, I have actually already watched the whole season, if you will. I don't know if there's going to be a second one, but I've watched this whole thing, all 6 episodes. But the instruction that came with the screener says that the embargo lifts every time the episode airs. So that means I cannot post my review until the episode has aired. So this pilot episode already aired tonight. I think there was a sneak preview as well the other day or yesterday. So and because of that, now I can post my review of and because TNT does not do binge watch format, they don't drop the entire 6 episodes in one sitting. That means I have to do this on a weekly basis. So you'll see me again probably next week, next Monday night, to discuss episode 2, and so on and so forth. All right. So I Am the Night, to give you the context. It's loosely based on the life story of Fauna Hodel. Fauna Hodel, she actually also produced this show. Unfortunately or sadly, she passed away back in 2017. So she never actually got to, obviously, she never got to see the final result or this show now airing. But India Eisley plays Fauna Hodel. And Fauna Hodel is probably like in her younger years, in her 20s, probably around this time. And it's set in the 50s. She lives with her mother, African American mother. Fauna Hodel is white, African American mother named Jimmy Lee, and they live in Reno, Nevada. And in this show, you get to see that in the beginning, Fauna is under the impression, or she grew up under the impression that she is a mixed race. That Jimmy Lee, her mom, at one point in her life, had a lover who happened to be white, and the result of that is Fauna. So Fauna, growing up in school, she also experienced racism and discrimination, even though from the outside she's viewed. I mean, she looks white, okay, but because people know her as a mixed race, that's bad enough for a racist in the 50s to hate you, even though you're white. It's like, oh, you have a blood of an African American running through your veins. You know how racists are, man. They're so dumb. So in this episode, you see her kind of facing some discrimination, or sometimes also at one point she actually experiences white privilege because she's dating a black kid, and there's like cops. Cops always trying to like, oh, why is this girl going out with this black kid? Maybe the girl's in trouble. So the cops like trying to stop them and trying to scold the black kid that she's dating in the guise of protecting the white girl. It's like so that's some of the gist that happens to or that Fauna experiences in this episode. Um, with regards to Chris Pine's character, Chris Pine plays a journalist named Jay Singletary, and he is a former Marine who served at the Korean War in Korea. Um, so he's suffering from PTSD. I guess the story is that back then he's an absolutely great journalist, but then after the war, he comes back. After seeing a lot of shit in the war, he comes back pretty messed up, and so now he's a struggling reporter. He begs for the editor in chief, like, come on, just give me something that's something of value to report on, because he's been given like paparazzi kind of gig, or spying on cheating elites, what have you, right? That's what paparazzis do. They're like the bottom of the barrel when it comes to journalism. And Jay Singletary's like, no, go give me something that's actual worth something, actual worth pursuing, actually worth investigating. I'm a journalist. I'm not some paparazzi. So he gets well, the guy who plays the boss, is he plays that one of he plays I'm sorry, he's played by one of my favorite character actors. Sorry, I get tongue twist here tonight. His name is Leland Orser, and the boss is his character's name is Peter Sullivan. And so Peter Sullivan is this kind of guy that's like, he feels pity for Jay Singletary because Peter knows Jay's history and that Jay served in Korean War, um, but that Jay is not all right himself now as a reporter. But he wants to give him a break. Peter wants to give Jay a break. So it's like, here he is. There's a murder that happened, and the body's taken to that one hospital, to that one morgue. Go check it out. Go find out what happens there. So in that morgue, this is the scene that's basically, if you've seen previews or trailers for I Am the Night, they kind of highlight this in the trailer as like, oh my God, Chris Pine is hiding in the morgue from the cops, because the cops are like investigating the body. And so that's what happens. And then in the aftermath of that, of course, the cops find out that Jay Singletary is hiding there. They take him out of the cabinet thing, the locker, if you will, and they beat him up. Because back then, that's how cops do, right? Cops rough people up back then. It's unfortunate, it's not cool anymore to do that these days. But it's like a wild, wild west back in the 50s and 60s, man. And cops are not somebody that you would, just like, oh my God, please help me, cops. Sometimes cops are somebody you fear because they might end up beating you up or killing you. So that's the depiction of cops here, and they are very corrupt and dirty. Okay, so that's the gist of what happens in this episode. By the way, um, I forgot to mention to you, in this episode, Fauna discovers that she's not the actual daughter of Jimmy Lee, that she is the granddaughter of George Hodel. George Hodel, you can look him up in history or on Wikipedia. He's a pretty well-known public figure back in his time and also even to this day. And part of that persona is because the rumors have it all these years that he may have been the killer of Elizabeth Short, a.k.a. Black Dahlia. Black Dahlia was murdered and mutilated. I think her body was cut in half. It's so gruesome, man. You can read it for yourself. But that murder was never solved. But George Hodel was one of the was a suspect, and for many years, people still, even though he was not convicted of it, people still have some kind of inkling or sense that I think George Hodel did it, man. And years later, George Hodell's son, Steve Hodell, who I believe was a police officer, I want to say in around 2009, I think, years after George Hodell already passed away. Um, Steve Hodell published a book claiming that his dad was the Black Dahlia killer. And there was also like theories about how George Hodell may have also been a Zodiac killer. You know, Zodiac killer, the famous one up in the Bay Area, the San Francisco areas. So that's the context, right, of George Hodell's the historical figure George Hodell. George Hodell in this series is played by a great veteran actor, also character actor named Jefferson Mays. If you probably have seen his work in such series as The Nick. Um, and so yeah, he shows up just like for a few seconds in tonight's pilot. But man, he leaves quite an impression. So I got a few thoughts about tonight's episode. Now that I've given you the plot, of what happens in this episode, I want to give you my review or my thought of it, my analysis, my criticism of it. First of all, what's my overall verdict? I enjoyed it. I like this. I've seen the whole 6 episodes, but I like this particular pilot. But I gotta give you a heads up if you haven't seen tonight. Um, this pilot is very slow. Right? It's directed by the great Patty Jenkins. Patty Jenkins gave us Monster, starring Charlize Theron, and of course she gave us Wonder Woman, right? In 2017, she's a fantastic director, and so um, this has a lot of cinematic elements in this pilot episode with regards to some of the ways that some of the scenes are shot. You can tell that there's some cinematic touches or cinematic sensibilities to those moments. And that I would credit that to Patty Jenkins. But the pacing is very slow. Just want to give you guys a heads up. You're gonna need some of your patience, but trust me, if you watch second, third, fourth, your patience will pay off. All right. So, in this pilot right now, because Patty Jenkins directed the pilot and the second episode, so next week's episode she directed that too. So in this pilot episode, it's not about so much, let's find out if George Hodell is the killer or not. It's just setting up. It's setting up the story. It's telling you where Fauna and Jay Singletary are at that moment in their lives. Um, in this pilot episode, they haven't even met. They don't even meet by the end of the episode. They're still far apart from each other. But you get to see Jay Singletary's demons, because he's haunted by his war memories and wounds. Later on, you'll see some of his more PTSD symptoms, and even they have illustrations of ghosts, Korean soldiers' ghosts, haunting him. And in this episode, for Fauna is coming to terms with the realization that, or trying to come to terms with the realization that, oh my God, the life that I had been living all these years was a lie. I'm not this woman's daughter. And so she's determined to go to LA, to go to George Hodell and find out about her origin, if you will, or where's my parents, what happened to them, why did they give me up, those questions. My thoughts about the two leads are Chris Pine and India Eisley. Chris Pine is fascinating in this series. We know him as Captain Kirk in those Star Trek movies, and Chris Pine is one of the most handsome people in Hollywood, right? But in this show, man, he's still got the good looks, but that good looks like it's been banged up, man. Like it has seen better days. The good looks like somewhere buried in there. Um, yeah, this is a guy who's down on his luck. He's so broke, and Chris Pine plays it effortlessly. Like there's nothing pretentious about it. Like you can believe like somebody like Chris Pine to be hitting rock bottom. You know, in other days you probably can't, but there is something about his performance, and also uh, I credit that also to the script that makes him very believable as somebody who's just like clueless, rudderless, who is purposeless. And so kudos on Chris Pine. Kudos to Chris Pine on selling that to you, on making that very very convincing. India Eisley, the way I describe her performance in this pilot episode, there's some moments when she's so luminous, and you feel like, oh my god, she's so pretty. I want to get to know this girl a lot better. And but the moments where she clashes with her mom Jimmy Lee after the realization that about her past, or that she's Fauna Hodel, not Fauna Lee. um India shows an her acting chops that um like she can actually go toe to toe with actress Golden Brooks. Which leads me to my next point on my yeah, on my review here. Golden Brooks, the actress Golden Brooks, who plays Jimmy Lee. My God, she is probably, even though she's not the lead, she's supporting to Chris Pine in India. My God, her performance as Jimmy Lee is jaw dropping. It's like it's like a case study in masterclass acting. You should see Golden Brooks in this episode. Um, Now, Jimmy Lee, this character, she's one of those who um, maybe in the past when she was younger, she had a shot for that one chance for to fame and stardom, or maybe to success, whatever that form may be. She's one of those people, but something happens and that never gets realized. So now years later, she's living with regret, frustration, guilt, blaming herself, blaming everybody around her for, oh my God, I could have been, kind of like Marlon Brando from On the Waterfront. I could have been somebody. I could have been a contender instead of a bum. Why do I have, I'm stuck here raising you. He's, but so that's what she pulls off here at Fauna Hodel, aka Pat. Um, it's like, oh yeah, you're Fauna Hodel, because she's like straight up with her, like, you know, but you got to be grateful. I took you in. I gave up my dreams, just to take care of you. Along those lines, I'm paraphrasing, of course. So she's one of those people, and that's tragic, right? That's tragic. You can kind of empathize with her. She's not abusive in any way, but I guess you can categorize her insistence on over fauna, over protectiveness over fauna. But probably you can categorize that as abusive. But I think it comes from a good place. It comes from a right place. Um, she really means it. When she doesn't want fauna gets hurt. I know in this episode it's kind of messed up that she lies about being passed away. That's kind of sick and twisted. It's like, if you're a parent and if you are afraid that your daughter might leave you, and then you fake your own death so that your daughter or your son could be worried about you, that is messed up. but um but it's not the same as, like, I don't know, throwing an iron at you or beating you up mercilessly, right? She's so scared and insecure, and it's like, oh my God, I'm already a nobody. I already got nothing, and now my only daughter, who's not really my daughter, is leaving me to go hunt for this family of hers. Like, um, so from that angle or from that perspective, I kind of can empathize with her. And so Golden Brooks does a marvelous job of of delicately dancing between those lines so that she doesn't come up so that she doesn't come across as like a bad guy in the story. Um, so she is definitely the highlight of this pilot. And I hope that the Emmy Awards would remember her come September this year, or yeah, September, right? Usually the Emmys, but she deserves a nomination, man. She's so great in this show. Um, she's a recurring character though. She's not there in every episode. Just want to give you that. All right, so to conclude, um, again, this is fantastic pilot episode. Now, if you are wondering, I noticed some of the tweets out there. It's like, wait, how come this is not about Black Dahlia? No, it's not about Black Dahlia. All right, it's not. Um, I think there's a movie, The Black Dahlia, that came out, I want to say, a decade ago. So you can go watch that. This is not about Black Dahlia. This is again based on the life of Fauna Hodel. Uh, discovering her past, discovering about her grandfather who may or may not be evil. So the story centers around her. And where Jay Singletary comes in is that he also believes that George Hodel might have something to do with the Black Dahlia. So, the journalist in him will, kicks in. And so the tone is very noir, right? Like pulp genre, very um Patty Jenkins directed some episodes of the series The Killing years ago. So she's been in this neck of the woods of mystery, drama, suspense, thriller, the who done it, is it him? Is it her? So that's the feel that you get in when you watch I Am the Night. It's this episode might be a slow burn, but there's some episodes. I think I want to say episode 3 or 4, when it's not so much a slow burn. Things actually happen on a much faster pace. And so just hang on, okay? Just be patient, and you'll get rewarded. Trust me. By sticking through it till the end. I think this is a fantastic pilot. I hope this is like an anthology. Like if they have a season 2, if they have, I don't know if they will. That it could be about somebody else's also, a relative or a family connection to another serial killer, maybe Ted Bundy's long lost grandson, or whatever. But for what it is, it's fantastic. I highly recommend you go watch I Am the Night. It airs on the channel TNT. So again, that's TNT. That's it. That's my review of I Am the Night pilot episode. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, subscribe to my channel and press that like button and ring that bell so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. And if you can help support this channel, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. That's patreon.com/ramascreen. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in. Let's rock this.